Welcome to Women Leaders on the Move, a HerCsuite radio podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Benamou, and every week I bring you inspirational stories and valuable insights that will help you thrive as a leader personally and professionally. I'm also the founder of HerCsuite, a community of ambitious women leaders who are landing board roles, growing businesses, hiring each other, and women forging their own path forward in their careers. Visit us at HerCsuite.com to learn more. Today, we're going to get real and talk about what many women are feeling, and most importantly, what to do about it. This is a personal episode designed to help you feel like you're not alone in all the feels you may be experiencing right now. Stress, anxiety, insomnia. I understand. I'm right there with you, and I'm here beside you. I have created a simple 3C formula: connection, community, and care that will help you make it throughout your day. So let's get started. I have the incredible honor of meeting and talking with women leaders every day. Whether it's speaking with members in HerCsuite, meeting with someone for the first time, or leading a mastermind program, each provides me with an opportunity to check in, listen, observe, and offer support. In the last 2 weeks, anxiety has been at an all-time high. I would put it at a 10x for women. Regardless of background, position, and where you live, what you do for a living, everyone I've spoken to is feeling on edge. 5 years ago, the pandemic created uncertainty and took it to a new level. At least that's what we thought. And we have been experiencing uncertainty nonstop with changes in all aspects of our personal and professional life ever since. As a glass half full or overflowing, I always try to find or create a silver lining. When life is handing you lemons, why not make something new and unexpected with them? This feels quite different. And now I have women seeking me out to ask me, what should I do? How can we make people aware of this situation? One woman reached out to me. She's a federal employee, and she really wasn't sure how to make people aware of what she does, because the unawareness is making people think that she's worthy and her colleagues are worthy of elimination, which couldn't be farther from the truth. When I first spoke with her, as I've spoken with so many of you, my initial answer is, I don't know, but let's try to find a solution. Almost unanimously, everyone I talk to has said they try not to look at or watch the news. I get it. I myself have stopped watching the news, and instead, I have started watching cooking game shows. They're sort of like the Hallmark Channel of competition, and you usually learn something new about a recipe you didn't know before. Win-win. As I reflect on the rapid pace of change, my initial go-to, and what I've always done is, well, how can we fix it? My entire career was trade shows, and my motto for anyone that worked with me was always, the answer is always yes. It depends on your budget if you want us to do it. And in context, this usually had something to do with something wasn't there on the trade show floor, or they needed a technology updated, or we had to do a counter-to-counter shipment to work to resolve an issue. And I always could find a way. I always had a solution, a plan B, and the client walked away knowing that they were well taken care of and we had them. We knew how to solve their problem. For this situation, a workaround seems almost beyond reach. I recently listened to a Mel Robbins podcast. I'm a super fan of Mel Robbins, and she interviewed Dr. Joseph about happiness, specifically about women. I have the link and it will be in the show notes, so don't worry, I got you. It's a great listen and I highly recommend it. When Mel asked Dr. Joseph, what is one thing someone listening should know or do right now? Dr. Joseph answered simply, make a connection with another person. Connection. That's the starting point and what inspired me to meditate, be still, and think about what we all crave. It's connection, a sense of belonging and feeling valued. Add into the mix community, when you have a place that makes you feel welcomed, and finally care for yourself and others. I came up with a 3C formula of how to create calm out of chaos. Let's take a look and explore each of these today, and hopefully at the end, you're going to feel uplifted. My first thing to think about connection, and something I really try to do, is to be a super connector. For strangers, friends and family and colleagues, I'm always looking for ways to connect people. I can't help myself. Finding ways to not feel alone is a cornerstone of our well-being. It can start with a conversation and have a huge ripple effect. Whether you are on the phone with a customer, service person, or at the post office in line, it's an opportunity to make a connection. I often talk about Midwest friendly, but you can fill in wherever you're located and add the word friendly to get started. Make meeting strangers a habit. Today, after you hear this podcast, start up a conversation at the elevator, or while you're waiting in line at the checkout with a cashier or a person bagging your groceries. When you walk into the building and you see personnel at the desk in the entrance, greet them. It's a small act of kindness that will give you adrenaline and that rush you won't be able to describe, but you never know the impact of that connection that it had on someone else. Next, I'd like to suggest to you to reach out with intention. Is there someone you haven't spoken to in a while? Maybe even a few years have passed and you almost feel like too much time has even gone by. Imagine her surprise and delight hearing from you. Remove all things out of your head and reach out. It can be via text, a call, email. The important thing is that you take action and make her day by reaching out. Write a handwritten note to someone you appreciate. It will lift their day, and I bet she will keep it at her desk as a reminder of you. I know that's what I do. When I receive a card or note, it is so precious to me. I keep it close by for reference, and I cherish it truly. The last part of the connection is to pay it forward. Whether you're a solopreneur or lead a large organization, you come into contact with other people every day. As leaders, we have the opportunity to observe and listen. Whether we're in a board meeting, having a conversation with a supplier, a client, or colleague, the chance to be tuned in to other people is an incredible opportunity to support someone else's role and where they're going. Proactively make an introduction, recommendation, or referral. I mentioned it earlier. I can't help myself. Every single conversation I have in my brain, I automatically start thinking about, well, who can I connect her to? Who can I introduce her to? What is a resource that she might find valuable? I honestly don't know why, but it's second nature for me. Instinctively, I think of these things and I know that there's no greater gift that you can give than creating a connection for someone else. Close your eyes, and I want you to think about who you see. Put on your super connector cape right now and reach out to her once you open your eyes. I guarantee you're going to create a ripple effect. The second part of our 3 C's is community, and you need to lean in now more than ever. There's no better way to feel uplifted when you surround yourself with women who inspire you. We truly are the result of the people we surround ourselves with. And that can be hard at a time when there's so much division and strife. And if you're in a community that is not making you feel like yourself, where you can't be authentic, it's bringing you down, then it's an opportunity to discover what will make you feel like your whole self. Doors close, windows open, and even if the sky isn't always sunny, it's up to us to fly through those windows and bring others with us. I've often shared about how I first experienced community by joining the Healthcare Business Women's Association. You see, I had a goal. I just wanted to meet new women. I started out volunteering, and it turned into a board role. I then became president of the Chicago chapter for the Healthcare Business Women's Association, and I led a board of 19 people. That experience was the foundation to starting HerCsuite, and I'm so honored to have many of the leaders who I've met along the way who've been mentors to me and advisors are now in my community, and they're creating a community where women leaders thrive. The one rule I always tell people when I talk to them, and this is true always, only nice people are allowed in. You see, HerCsuite is made up of women that care about each other, and it seems so basic and foundational to ensure women feel like they belong. When I started HerCsuite, it was with that foundation of helping women feel safe, valued, and know that they belong, and create meaningful connections. Engaging and thriving are all key critical values. How do you know if a community is right for you? Well, I recently heard a story that exemplified the limitless ecosystem that we create, and maybe it will resonate with you too. It started with a podcast interview with Dominique Luster, and I will have the notes and the link for you to find it because it's one of the most memorable interviews where she shared the importance of knowing our grandmother's names 5 generations back. Dominique joined HerCsuite Women Entrepreneur Mastermind. That's where she met Hope Mueller, who's one of our founding members of HerCsuite. I served on the board of HBA, so you can kind of see the trajectory of the ecosystem and the limitness of how these connections are created. And Hope met Dominique. She invited her to be a speaker at her Climb retreat last year. At that retreat, Hope introduced authors because that is one of the businesses that Hope has. And Dominique decided to become one too. Dominique met Dr. Ronicka Briscoe, CEO of Winning on the Road. She's also a member of HerCsuite. And she connected with Jen Pestikas, CEO of Brave Women at Work. True to her goal, she is going to be an author in 2 books. But wait, the connections continue. One of our members, Mylene Barizzo, founder of Leadership Ladder, connected with Dominique in the Entrepreneur Mastermind. The two of them began working together, and at our year-end celebration of our Women Entrepreneurs Mastermind, Dominique shared that thanks to working with Mylene, she had grown her business by 2-fold in the double 6 figures. Wow, that whole story may seem confusing, but hopefully if you track with me, you realize how many people are touching each other and the ripple effect out that they're having. Finding a community that not only gives you a way to grow, but amplifies your voice, creates real business connections, and leads to opportunities is a way for you to find a respite when the storm is happening all around. I know that I am so lucky that I have that every day. I truly feel so grateful to every member, to all my advisors, because I have the best job in the world that I can go to these women for support. So here's 3 ways that you can engage in a community. First of all, join a leadership group or a mastermind like HerCsuite that offers advice, peer-to-peer, networking, and a personal way to grow. You can volunteer and mentor other women. That's how I first got started, was volunteering. And lastly, you can host a small gathering. Even if it's 2 or 3 people, get together at a restaurant, at your house, and start having a conversation. Communities remind us that we don't have to carry the weight of leadership alone and the weight of all that is happening in our lives by ourselves. The last C, and this one I truly, truly hope that you will follow because it is so important. Prioritize your care. Are you feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, burnt out, anxious? You're not alone. Everyone is feeling this. Every single woman I talk to has these feelings. So you're probably thinking, yeah, I know. I try these different things, but it's not helping. So I'm going to give you my personal things that I do to overcome anxiety, because I got to tell you, I feel it every day. The first thing I do is move, whether it's going up and down my stairs, taking my dog for a walk, or working out first thing in the morning. I find activities that really makes and boosts the adrenaline in my body, and it is really helpful. If movement isn't possible for you, I know it can be more difficult to reduce stress. So meditation is my next go-to, and it is a tool I use every day. For insomnia, I use it when I can't sleep, and I listen to music or I listen to guided meditation to help me go back to sleep. During the day, I have ADHD. Anyone that knows me, I have squirrel ideas constantly, and I'm always big picture of this and that, and I have to get focused. So I use it as a lever to help me not only find focus, but reduce anxiety. It could be while I'm driving. I do breathing techniques. Sometimes I feel anxious at different times unexpectedly. The last thing is that sleep piece that I mentioned that I do when I meditate, because it's the one action that's so hard to prioritize if you're an entrepreneur, a busy mom, a sister, an aunt, or a friend. I can honestly say that when I don't get enough sleep, it impacts more than my cognitive ability. My blood pressure is higher on the days when I don't get enough sleep. All of these things are not new. You've heard them. But when we put them together, it really improves our well-being and our ability to deal with things that are uncertain and can feel like chaos. 3 ways you can prioritize care for yourself. The first thing is allocate 30 minutes in the morning doing something that makes you feel good. I work out every day, at least 30 minutes, no matter what. It's my North Star for the day. I also take breaks. I used to think that taking a break was a sign that you weren't focused, you weren't working hard enough. The opposite is true. I meditate often in the afternoon for 10 minutes. I might even sleep for 10 minutes. I set an alarm, and I totally feel refreshed. Try it and let me know how it feels. Share how you're feeling. Sometimes we don't want to share how we really are feeling, but it turns out that sharing your feelings is a faster way to release. Practice this. And Mel Robbins talks about let them, let me. This idea of not worrying about what other people are thinking about you. Don't let it bother you. If it is bothering you, share it with someone and then follow it up by let me. Here's an example. I worry a lot about what I share on LinkedIn. I'm constantly stressed about, I wonder if it's going to be resonating with my audience. Will it help? And I worry. Instead, I've tried to reframe this. And on my Fierce Friday posts, I say, let them read it. And then I say to myself, let me feel good that I'm trying to make an impact out in the world. Practicing care is not selfish. It is a gift that helps you, your loved ones, and your colleagues to thrive in meaningful ways. This week, I want to encourage you to choose one action to connect, be active in a community, and take care of yourself. Reach out to someone, engage in your community, and take a moment for your care and know that you matter. Rinse and repeat. When we keep these 3 C's close to us, it will help us navigate uncertainty even easier. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, pay it forward and share it with a friend or colleague. I would be incredibly grateful if you would rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other listeners find the show. This podcast is inspired by you, the listener, Women Leaders on the Move. And we created a new membership, Women on the Move, where you get special access to me and all the amazing guests. You can find out everything you need at HerCsuite.com. Keep shining your light bright. The world needs you.